are live, preparing. The meeting is being live streamed. Got it. And we are live with Clair Owen. It's like it's happening, and my Facebook is loading. Let's load it and get ready to figure the echo part. I want to try and say everything every time differently because I want to make a film of this live stream. Got it. Last 3 times it didn't echo and lighter started, so I had to switch off the volume. All right. So hi everybody, good evening. Like we have Clair Owen here. She's so gorgeous. I met her yesterday. I've been hearing about her. I've been seeing her at different events I've been participating, and then I don't know what happened. She was recommended and she just kept on coming in my feeds in different places, in different groups. And when I opened my feed, it was her in 4 different groups. And I was just like, okay, you're shouting out loud. She needs to be in the book. So let's take her in the book. And we've got her here today in a short span of a day. And a lot of coincidences that happened in her life, how this has fallen in place. We'll talk about it. Welcome, Clair. Let's introduce you. You tell your story because you can tell your story the best. Let's first talk about you till here. Then we'll talk about you as a mom. Then we'll talk about you as a transformational coach. And then we'll move further.
Thank you so much. It is strange how things have turned around, and there was me within a week ago declaring on Maya's community, I want to be in a book. I said out loud, I want to be. Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
Maya's bonus prize is to be featured in her book.
Right.
And I said, I am going to be in a book. I'm going to be, that's my prize. I don't think she's announced the winner yet. Yes. And then here I am going to be in your book.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part. That's new to me. That's amazing.
I'm getting what I want here now. Yeah. And it's just, it's since I started believing in myself. We talked a little bit before I came on because I watched, was it Kate's interview? I watched Kate's interview for a little bit of research to find out who is the audience, what angle are you coming at? And she's a photographer as well. And although I'm not a photographer, I would call myself a very creative person. And I've read the books, I know all about branding. I understand that this is me selling to you my what I'm feeling inside. And sometimes it's hard to articulate it.
Absolutely.
Really hard. And I believed up until now that I wasn't very good at the written word. And I can remember taking selfies of myself staring at the ocean. Like, because my message was there, but I was looking at the wrong way around. And it wasn't until I decided to invest in myself and think like, where is my weak point here? I need some help. And I found my photographer, who was Aga Mortlock, and she came. Well, first we did it over like a really cool setup. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it was through my mobile phone. She took these photographs and she was explaining how I could not pose, but express my personality, you know. And it wasn't about being pretty, and it wasn't about everything being perfect. It was showing people the messy middle bit. Yes. With the messy middle bit here, usually, you know, the bits that we want to hide, because guess what? That's how your clients feel too. That's what they will connect with. And they'll see that, and I got it, and it was like, oh my God. And you're so right. As soon as the photographs come, I'm like, who's that? Is that me? And it might take a few weeks for you to go back and look at it again and go, actually, do you know what? Yes, today that is me. Yeah. And it's like having all of these different versions of myself there. So even on a day where I don't feel like turning up, I can look and go, you know, there's always tomorrow type of thing. But I've got something there that I can share. Because if I don't believe it, my clients aren't going to believe it. Right. So I think that's why I'm here. And it's just so, it's because we're asked, of course, there's days where you don't want to share and you don't want to show up. But my coach once said to me that, imagine that your client who needs you is sat at the side of the road, her car's broken down, her husband has left her, and she opens her phone. You need to be there. And I'm pleased that you're saying I'm there, I'm everywhere, because I want to be there for her. That would be thinking, oh, I'm going to have a bottle of wine tonight. Who cares? Nobody cares anyway, but I care, you know, and that's what my photographs are trying to show to them, that, you know, I used to feel like that, and you don't have to feel like that. You know, there is another way.
Yes.
So it's so powerful to have other people who are creative who can pull that out, because it's hard. It's like a spot that you need to squeeze, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. And being on this side of the camera, when you're approaching them, and when I started photographing, Claire, very early, I became India's first baby and child photographer. I started that in this country. It was not heard of 20 years. I was all of 18, 19 when I started, and I studied. And, when I realized it very early, I don't know from what, that I must not talk to my clients before I actually get into a shoot,
Mhm.
because it restricts me. And I've mentioned it in Kate's thing as well, the same thing I was mentioning to her, I think, in her interview, saying the more you tell me, don't look at this, the more I look, the more my fingers keep clicking at that time. Because one photographer to another photographer, same situation, same person, everything turns out different in pictures because of this finger when it clicks and what connects, right?
Mm.
And I realized it very early that I had a gift of actually seeing something more than they've even seen in themselves. And I stopped talking. I used to just take a call and I was like, fine, I'll be there. I worked hard on my natural light so that, the equipment doesn't scare people and kids. And then it just like, I was just like, why can't they all see this, what I'm seeing? And why is it happening? And of course, when I became a mom, it happened to me as well. And that same thing faced me. And I was just like, my God. Now I know if some photographer actually came to me to take my pictures, I would be like giving them a long list of angles and stuff what to do. And then I, of course, started working on it, and the self-portrait movement developed out of it, because I wanted to also get that into when we look at ourselves through cameras. But that apart, like, let's talk about your journey till here, Claire. What's been your journey till here to be this transformational coach?
Wow. Um, I think now that I'm here, I can look back and see that like golden thread that I've been following for many, many years, but then I wasn't even aware of. And I
Yes.
think it all started, which is a big part of my message and my mission, in personal development. So obviously I went through my schooling, didn't really apply myself, wasn't that interested. I was more interested in the boys, to be fair. And just got a bit distracted, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And the careers advisor suggested working with children. I went down that route and tried various different things. And I found myself in a coaching role, helping people back into employment.
Right,
So in that job, a lot of the people who I was working with were third generation and employed. So their backs were against the wall and it wasn't an easy task.
right,
Many of them were being made redundant, and it wasn't a case of, I would like, it was more, I need this, and I think that brought out a lot of ways of how to be resourceful and how, ask for help. I would always suggest, ask for help. We don't know who we don't know, and people are there to help you. And I think I've just applied that in my own life. I was situated at the time next door to a community education project who really were amazing. They were there to support women who were in abusive relationships, were, you know, just anybody who was really struggling in the community, and they weren't making a lot of money, but they were turning up every day and they were always there, and the door was open in this YMCA. And I used to use the photocopier there, and I used to just spend loads of time being inspired by their messages. And I think that was just the start of my journey. And I went to night classes. I got in the end, a certificate in adult education. And I've always been drawn towards inspiring and uplifting women.
right.
I've tried for a long time to have my own family, and that didn't work out for me. I've been on the IVF journey. I've been divorced, remarried, had my children. I've got two beautiful boys now that naturally, with one tube, after such a journey. And I just feel as if I've learned such a lot along the way, and I've had to reinvent myself. I've had to get back up, and I've somehow managed to do that. Through personal development, I believe that's what the key is, and that's my mission, is to support women to run towards that, and to choose a health-seeking behavior, and inspire everyone else around them. And if there's an obstacle in their life, or something they're coming up against, instead of saying, oh, I'm just going to have this bottle of wine, no one cares, to think, well, who else has been through this situation? Who, what did they learn on their journey? And to just rely on each other. That's what I'm about. That's what I want to achieve. And then I'm meeting people who have this similar mindset in other communities in the world. It's like a global thing, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yes, yes, because that's what I realized, till the time this chatter and this stuff was happening to me, I was thinking, maybe it's India, and it's an Indian traditional thing that women don't speak up, and maybe in spite of being modern in big cities in India, which are pretty modern, I thought that maybe, we are carrying something from our tradition, and that's why mothers go through what they go through, and they can't express, and they can't say, and maybe husbands' support is needed, and there's a gap. And my God, when I started researching, it was across the world the same. And it opened up my eyes to two, three things, Claire. One is that it's not unique to a culture, it's very unique to being a mom, right? It's very unique to have these feelings. And of course, there are exceptions, and they are in the book, moms who never felt like that. And they were very positive, but most feel that they are being pulled down once they get into the journey of being a mom, and each one's journey being very unique, and the reason being very, very unique, reasons not being same, but the feeling has been the same of,
Mhm.
this there's a difference, like, so the feelings were same, the reasons were not same, and that's the reason that we are bringing out in this book of exploring why a mother and what she does to come back and start shining. And the second thing I also realized, in this journey of finding these 50 mothers till now, and speaking to many, many, many mothers otherwise, is that, like, you can't even comment. One should not even comment on what anybody's journey is. These comments are absolutely one, futile, and second, ridiculous to even start, because I've realized that each mother's journey and her root cause of why she has come to this point is so different that it will take a lot of work sometimes to even bring yourself to find out that there is a problem. Forget about having a solution. And we judging that, is not right. And that's why, now I'm approaching, and I very, like, on a day-to-day life, because it's very normal to say, oh, we judge ourselves as well. So now if I say another thing, I've started to correct myself as well on daily thing. So I say, oh, just another shade of mother, just another shade of a mother, like, not why is she like that, and why is she judging me, or why am I judging myself. I keep telling myself I'm just another shade of a mother. And I did meet one mother yesterday who was just like my shade. She's 16 years ahead of me, but she and I have had similar thing. And I was like, see, here one shade meets another who absolutely understands her sitting across in an interview. And that's why in this book as well, some shade of Claire will be recognized by another Claire somewhere else, and they will meet. And that's what this book is all about. And they will just look at, and I would urge, like, all mothers in this book as well, to start saying, you're just another shade, not good, not bad, not why, because we have all shades. We have all shades. We have teenage mom here. We have, moms who've lost children. We have moms who've adopted, moms, all kinds of moms. So that's the learning. And I wanted to bring this out because I think you're one person who will totally understand what I'm saying. Because this kind of, feeling when we are commented on and we are totally, it can take us down so deep sometimes that we don't even realize it. We don't even realize that why, like, why. So, like, I've been called an obsessed mother, and for some time, even if I was trying to ignore it, I was just like, fine, you can call me. And today I'm just like, I'm just another shade of a mother trying to deal with my own children. It's okay. So I forgive myself by just calling myself a shade and not an odd mother, so that's the realization in these 50 interviews for me. Dr. Williams, and I told her that she was the person who gave me my first break. So I told her in the morning today, I will call you my godmother, because that's what she wrote, and she's been guiding me since I'm very, very young, maybe at age of 13, like a mom. So she's here to support us. So welcome. here, and let's go ahead. So let's talk about your journey, and we, as a mom, and what has been the wave that you riding on, because somebody really needs to hear that. You know, somebody really needs to today hear that, Claire. So let's take that ride of you being a mom, and then we already spoken about portraits and photography, so that part is done. But we must talk about the ride that you've taken to be
Mhm.
here.
Mhm. It's wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was one of the stories that I wanted to bring out about in Maya's community, because I think it's a big part of my journey. And what happened was I couldn't get pregnant, and that sounds crazy because normally the words I would use is I couldn't have a baby. I couldn't get pregnant. It was as if like the problem, well, no, actually that's not true. I got pregnant and I had a miscarriage. Then I couldn't get pregnant.
Yes.
And it just took over my life. It wasn't even about the baby. When I look back, I just wanted this thing, and I felt like everyone around me was, it was like I was manifesting all the babies, right? But none for me, and it was uncomfortable because I felt that how uncomfortable they felt. And it was just this exchange that nobody wanted, you know what I mean? And I was happy, but I had to really take myself off and think, like, what does this mean for me now? What does this mean? My marriage broke down, and I didn't want to just wear that hat. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to find out who I was and what I liked. I hadn't made any other decisions. I just got on this train, if you like, and just went with it, that was what I wanted. So I took myself off traveling, and I decided it wasn't like in a yoga traveling way. It was just more, I can do this because if I had a baby, I couldn't do this. So let's do what I couldn't do if I had the thing. And I think that was when my partying like continued a bit too long. That extra decade of that, where other people, I really wanted to be at home with the baby, the twins, if we could be twins, right? And it didn't happen for me like that. And so then it was like these shoes I bought that to me were connected to my partying. I was buying these expensive shoes instead of a pram, and this was going to be who I was. And I didn't know any of this until I've started exploring it. And I think when I finally got pregnant, it was I was that story that everybody told me about, that I couldn't stand that story where someone's neighbor knows someone who, when they forgot about it, they got pregnant. And I hated them stories. I don't really want to be that person because I had a lot of spite for that person. And I'm sorry to say that, but I did. Because I can remember sitting in the room in the IVF clinic, and they say, do you want to go again? Do you want to go again? And there's cards and photographs that tell us that dreams do come true. So it's like, yes, 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 And I found myself with an ectopic pregnancy, and I'm not saying that was because it was IVF, it might have happened anyway. And I ended up losing a tube that I was healthy. It was healthy. But for some reason, I was trying to push something, and it was like they made me sign a disclaimer because they were going to operate, and I had to say yes to them taking anything away that was damaged. And if I'm honest, I wasn't what you thought I would be. I wasn't devastated. I just had this like softening. That finally that decision or that control was no, I finally got it, that it wasn't actually in my control, but at that point, me being me, I thought, well, what am I going to be instead? What identity can I have instead if I can't have that? And so that's what I chose. I chose them shoes, and I got my babies. And then I ended up with a lot more pressure that it has to be perfect. I wanted this, right? This is what I wanted. You can never complain. You wanted this for 10 years. Don't complain about it.
Yeah, we just had a conversation about that yesterday with my mom. That Be grateful sometimes also becomes like that whole, the whole chat that is given to you by yourself or people around you. That be grateful also becomes a chat that becomes heavier on you, because then you just feel, even if you want to express sometimes that, I'm grateful, I'm anything, but I'm going crazy, right? It's not what I thought it is. It's still tough, it's still crazy, and I want to express it. But be grateful. Come on, be grateful. Put yourself, like, come on, what are you doing? Look what you have, look what it is. And then we just keep putting it inside, and we just say, yeah, we're grateful. We write it in the diary, yes, we are grateful, we are grateful, we are grateful, we are grateful. But we don't, it's not that we're not grateful. Just because you have to be grateful, I also feel, doesn't mean that you cannot express other way. And that is what becomes a disease in us in many ways, because we're grateful, yes we are. Like, look at the hugs we give to our children, look at the amount of stuff we can go through for them. But yes, we have the right to express as moms, and it is tough. Sometimes it really gets tough, and for no rhyme or reason. And then sometimes you realize it's just the journey was tough and now it's hitting you. Just your childhood was tough and now it's hitting you. Just motherhood itself is tough and now it's hitting you. That's it. So I don't apologize like saying just sorry, I was spiteful. Yeah, you feel that, and I like your courage because you're being courageous by saying that. Because this is honesty. This is honesty, Claire. By saying it, we release it because we become real. And that, I really respect you and honor you for saying that out loud as well.
Thank you. And I
Yeah.
think it is all about your audience, isn't it? It's where do you share that? Because sometimes if you've got something in your heart, you know the answer, you know. So choose wisely who you're going to share your dreams with or your fears with or anything with, because sometimes the people around you need the support just as much as you know, just keep looking, and it's out there. It's out there for you, for your very situation, isn't it? I believe that. There's somebody else who's been through what you're going through, and they're on the other side of that now. You can learn from them. You can learn from the things that they tried, and you might not learn everything from them, but you take what suits you, and then you go to the next one and the next one and the next one, and that's the golden thread that I believe I've been following.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. And then you become that.
Like magic.
And then there you become that, because when you are when you're trying to hold that golden thread, and I think it's taken me a year and a half since I realized about self-portrait and the negative self-talk and all that. It's almost taken me a year of holding, seeing, figuring it out, meeting, talking. But what you said, that to learn from somebody who's on the other side, but also to aspire to become that person so that the one who's behind us can hold and move forward. So once you're on the other side, I think we all need to take the responsibility to even show to people who are behind, who just started on this search, that's the golden thread. And that's what this book is about these 100 shades of moms who said we are on the other side. And I'm just trying to bring them together to say, they've done it. You can do it too. And I'm putting it in a book.
It's ongoing. It's an ongoing process, isn't it? And we can learn from each other. I mean, one of my clients, she said, I don't like my job. I don't like it. It brings me down. I feel so, stressed about it. But I can't change it. And I'm like, well, you have got transferable skills, but what is it that you do? And she says, oh, there's nothing I can do, like really putting herself down. And she eventually revealed she'd been working with dementia patients for 20 years. And she thought she had no skills. And I'm like, to me, that's like, what? Imagine someone stuck in an elevator with you whose mother is just showing early signs of dementia. You are priceless to them,
Yes. My God, it just hit me what you just said. God, it just gave me a lot of goosebumps. Yes.
People have skills, and they're going around in their life and they're thinking, I don't know anything, and I'm just, but you're so much more than that.
Yeah.
So much more than a mom, more than anything, because my message isn't just for moms. And I have to honor them, the people who didn't get to be moms, because I was her for a long time. I've been her, you know, and I found my way. My way was to find another identity. Maybe party girl wasn't the right one. So it's about just thinking about what is it that you want, what is it that you need, and taking that dream, or that, even if it's just the bones of an idea, to someone else who's crazy enough to believe in you. Don't take it to the wrong person who's going to say, oh, don't be silly. I remember telling somebody that I wanted to be a yoga teacher, and they laughed at me. And I'm not a yoga teacher. No.
And sometimes what you're saying happens, we don't know who the right person is. And what happens is that you try to go and express, sometimes not even knowing, and you take the courage to express, and boom, it goes onto your thing, and you don't even know why it happened to you, and all you were doing was just trying to express. And that is discouraging. Then if it repeats itself 2 or 3 times, you lose that thing, that who's the right person to talk to, and then you start to believe that it's not them or their comments or what they are judging you for. It's you. You start believing that it's you who's taking the wrong path, because see, 5 people have said that this is not okay what you're doing.
But listen, what you need to do is you need to start thinking about only take directions from someone who's been where you're going.
Right.
Look at their life and think, is that where I want to go? And then do the things that they did to get themselves there.
And that's why we need people like you and coaches who will, who will. And I think I was also a witness of Maya in X Factor also, saying they're not your people. The people you're talking about are not your people.
And that's so true. I was talking to the wrong people.
Yeah.
My people are the people who know that they deserve more, and they know that it hurts them so much inside that they know that. I can remember standing in a shop thinking and I was only 18, thinking this is ridiculous. What am I doing standing here? Like, I knew there was something else that I needed to be doing. It sounds really crazy, but I knew that then. I had that sensation of something just not being, like I was wasting my time.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy because I was 18 and everybody, oh, this is a waste of time. I didn't want to lie in bed. I felt like I needed to be out there. Like I needed to be helping people. And you know what? I've done so much training over the years, and a lot of it's been about extracting what you want and then helping you find it. I'm not going to have all the answers.
Yeah.
But I'll hold your hand while you find them.
Yeah.
I'll keep you accountable while you find them. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not taking that on. Yeah. In the way that I've actually offered my services as a pen pal, because it doesn't happen in a moment. People book a Zoom call and it's like, right, what's wrong? And you're like, you can't spring it out on the moment. But most of my pen pals reply or send me messages in the middle of the night, because that's when she wants to get it out. That's when she wants to share what's in her heart. Yeah. And by 9 o'clock the next morning, she's probably going, oh my God, I can't believe I've sent that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's me, I'm there, and I'm holding you.
Yes.
And I haven't got the answers. I'm just saying, what about looking at it like this? Have you thought about that? I saw something online about this, and then you've got another eye on what it is that you want. You've got another pair of eyes who's sharp as a pin.
Yep.
on your dream, and I'm going to help you get it. And that, just lights me up. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I want to do. So it's not really about alcohol. It's about what happens after that, and what it is that you want to do with your life.
Yeah. And I absolutely I'm with you when you say that I'm just holding your hand. I'm not going to do it for you. And I think I learned it the hard way, because I was always an empath. I was always trying to, since I was a kid, I was always trying to reach out to people, and I was always trying to say, I'll do it for you and let me do it for you. And of course, it took me down a lot of roads that taught me a lot today when I look at it, but it was hard to even find. And I'm like, how did I come here? And then I decided that holding hand is so much better than somebody leaning on you, because if somebody leans on you, it becomes all on you trying to take them. They're totally dependent on you, and the pressure comes on you. But when you hold hand, there's also a possibility of leaving it and walking next to it, and then possibility of even stopping and letting them go, because
Oh,
they
exactly.
know how to walk. They know how to do it, and that kind of support is.
And
I
they
mean,
might not be going where I'm going, so I can hold hands with them until they need to go somewhere else, and that's what this is. It's a journey, isn't it? And they're going to learn things, and they're going to know things that I need to know. Part of my service is I want we're all to come together at a retreat, like a celebration of life retreat, where we can share your skills, like a skill swap. So people say, this is what I've learned in the last 10 years of my life. What have you learned?
skill swap. I like that. I like that word, skill swap. Wow, that's not. I'm not. Is that a word, or this you just created it? I never heard skill swap. That's interesting. I like it. I like that quite a bit. And it is just amazing that you think like that, Claire. And the fact that we can uplift each other. And even in this book, I always wanted to photograph 100 top women in this world. And one fine day, I dropped my dream about, like, it was no more being a photographer. And when I started this, I did mention it to my coach, saying, you know what, I must confess, I might not be a photographer for some time, because photography is so close to me. It's like meditation. But what's calling me on the other side, I'll have to just forget about being a photographer for some time, because this course which is leading me is going to do that. I am not going to take your pictures. You are going to take your own pictures. I'm just holding hands and bringing these 100 stories out. And exactly what you're saying, that I am just one of you walking next to you and just saying, let's do this together. Like, let's just bring this out together. But even if my vision is there, even if it's in my head very clear, I can only suggest, because ultimately it's the journey that you need to take with your story and your self portrait that will light up your page, not mine, not anybody else's. It will
I
light up
can see
your
mine. I can see it already.
page.
I can see my.
And so you don't think that you're doing it for me. You're supporting
No,
me. You are getting, this book, and you're doing anything for
it's an
me.
opportunity. It's an
It
opportunity.
is all of us together trying to, shine forever in a printed book.
Because it
Forever.
gives permission. It gives permission to other people to
Yes.
do the same. It gives permission by us revealing everything, revealing that, like, this is my dream. And yes, I'm scared. And yes, I might not achieve it.
Yeah. And I'm there to hold your hand, and I'm saying it again and again. I will say, I immediately call and I say, and Terry's here, I was just telling her that it is not my book. Like, I did, because she's a sweetheart, and she keeps saying that I want your book to, and I'm it's very hard for me to understand, making people understand that it is your page. And I want, where me is in this project, is that I I know how it can look the best quality. So I will only give you an input in saying it can go better, just because technically as a photographer I'm way ahead, and being a person who's visualizing this book and getting it in the dream, I can only say you have more, because that's why I'm doing individual interviews. Why? Because I'm getting the pulse of each page. And then when your pages come in, I'm like, you know what, I saw even something else, and you can go there. So for me to push you is not for my book to come out amazing. For me to push you is for your page to become better, so your page to shine. And when I can't even wait for that day that 100 of us together during COVID, sitting on our screens, met and created magic, created these pages, created these stories, and gave our best. Because this is also not the ultimate story. There are so many parts of us which are going to keep coming, which keep increasing. But once you see it in your hand that you've done it, there's no stopping. That I can guarantee. So that's why Terry's saying yes, ma'am. I really love her. I just love her energy, and she's always there to support And and this message not only for you, Terry, but for each mom who's coming, I want them to know your pages. I can just see it and say, oh my God, she's reached the highest point she could with the situation we are in, sitting in COVID with their phones, with their technical knowledge, with their ability to express. And I honor you for that. And I clap you and I salute you and I do everything because I will celebrate that. And that's the vision, right? And if we can do that, I'm like, when I close my eyes and I always see this, like, if somehow this book is not there, somehow me is not there, I just see people opening the book. I don't know why that keeps coming to me, but I just keep seeing that there's a doorbell and the book has arrived and people are like jumping, mother, like the book is finally here, and people are just like, I'm getting goosebumps because that's the image I sleep with every day, I wake up with every day. It happened, it reached, people open, people smile, people embrace, people hug the book saying, we did it, we did it, and we did it for this. Because just today to my husband also, I was saying, people are saying maybe volumes will come out, and I think maybe not. I was telling to her, but I also feel that this would be the only book on mothers I will do. Maybe not, but this will be enough to spread what I want to, and maybe no volumes come in because I don't feel this volume. I just feel this book has something special, and it is it. So today, for the first time, I'm saying it because before this, I kept saying maybe more volumes will come out, but I just think with this topic, this is it. So let's make this is it the most special it book, the most special page we can bring out, and if that happens, it'll be awesome. Anyway, I wanted to say this because every day I'm evolving with this book. Every day a new message comes in, so I make sure that I put it out and people can hear how it's evolving. Let's go back to you. And now, what are you like? You being a transformational coach, you're working with many, like you're working with women, and you being a mom. How's that panning out for you now? Your children are 10 years old. You've become a yoga teacher. You want to become a model, or you are a model. I don't know. I'm not sure. And
I've got all the dreams, all the things. So just juggling work and family life, you mean like logistically, how does it work for me?
not logistically,
No.
because you've done the work, right? You've done the work, and now you're on
I
this.
think it's ongoing. It's ongoing. I think it's more about learning how I want to put this across, and so that I can get my message out to the right person at the right time. So I'm starting a Wednesday night session where I'm inviting women who are looking for lasting change in their life. So it doesn't have to be about alcohol. That's just the thing that I relied on instead of doing what I needed to do in my life, I think, because it was my business that was affected. Oh no, it was my business that wasn't lighting me up. So day to day, I just didn't feel like I had a purpose,
Right.
or I didn't have a purpose that I felt was for me, So I felt this uncomfortable feeling, and I think I just would drink. And it wasn't drinking on my own in a sad state of affairs, it was party time. But I kind of created that, and looking back, it almost felt like I just got lost. I felt a little bit like that was who I was, going back to the story about the shoes. Although was a mum and I got to be a mum, that wasn't enough for me. I didn't want to be just a mum. And it's funny because after I had my two children, I started my own business. But before I started in the property world, I wrote a program, a 6-week program called More Than a Mum. And I think that was me trying to express that I've got what I've always wanted, but wait a minute, this isn't just all who I am. I'm not going to get sucked into this. Like I would go to the play areas, and I didn't just want to talk about that, So I suppose that was me hanging on to another part of myself and the training that I'd done. I always remember one of the powerful sessions that I used to deliver was about a baby elephant being tied to a tree when it's a baby, and then it just believes even when it grows that it can't pull away. So that was my message, really, to say that, remember who you are, and and remember that you've got a life. We used to do this thing on a paper plate, like a pizza, to say what slice of your life is still for you, and about self-care, and about you getting sleep when the babies are sleeping, and all of the things.
Right.
And I think it's just always been in me. I've always been that person to pass it on. It's like a girl code thing. I just want to pass it on. I want to share what I know, and I want you to share what you know with me.
Yeah, and that gives me an image. My God, as I keep saying that, oh my God, that does give me some image of that baby elephant you just said, and that's a beautiful message because, you know, for me, what it felt like was that yes, you're because it like I of course I am about to wean off my younger one, and that the thing you're talking about is like you can still move, right? Is you don't have to be tied down as a mom. You can still, I mean, you get into that, and this is a one thing that everybody keeps hearing from me. No, I don't have time and I can't do it. And though my older one is 8 and the younger one is going to turn 2, and anytime going to get weaned off, today, tomorrow, 1 month, you know, because I decided to breastfeed him for 2 years, and I said that's it, and he's going to be 2 in 10 days. So it's becoming an emotional thing for me as well. But I need to approach it like this baby elephant thing, that nothing is tied down. They're growing up. You're just thinking that you're tied down. They can move forward without you for some hours, and that's definitely given me something very special, Claire. Because yes, it does happen to baby elephants that, and then when they become older, nobody's tied them, and they still feel they're tied, and that's amazing. So thank you for giving me that, because that liberates me a little, gives me a little liberating feeling, and it will to many moms who get caught into the fact that because we've been doing it for so long, we just feel we can't, you know. So thank you for that. I mean, that's an amazing thing I will think about tonight for sure.
My clients tend to be the other side, so the empty nesters, so the children have left the nest and they're looking forward to becoming grandparents, perhaps.
Right.
And I think sometimes it hits really hard then if you haven't kept onto your life, if you haven't,
Right.
followed that whisper, a golden thread of your own, because my children are getting so much from me doing this, it can become obsessive, and it's all of me. It's all of me. It's not my work. It's not that I can put it down and close the door, and it's everywhere. It's in me.
Yeah.
It's who I am. I can't help it. But the messages that I'm sharing, the things that I think, oh my God, that's so useful to tell my children, right?
Right.
That's a good one to share. So they're going to be so useful to be around, even as they grow up, because it's going to seep into them, isn't it?
Yeah.
That when things get tough, even if you have to get a book out and read it, that's what you do. You do that, or you watch something, you watch a TED talk, you Google, and someone else has been through it and they have something to share. And you don't have to believe everything that you read on the internet in that way, but it's just like, take what you need.
Right.
And if you feel obliged to, then create something that works for you, pass it on.
Right. Right. And it's beautiful what you're just saying, and the sharing part. And I again, because I'm relating to you, Pat Lily, and I'm saying it, it's just bringing a smile, because when my older one was 3 years old, he used to say, well, my mom is a photographer who is on Google, right? Because he would like to search me and I would come up and my work would come up, and till then I had not gone down this whole thing of being mom and getting obsessed and getting stuck and feeling like that. And then the second one came, and then one fine day my husband asked him, what do you think your mom does? He's like, she takes care of Veer, because he'd grown up 4 years more, and then all he saw was that she takes care of Veer. And I'm like, you don't even know what I do. And he's like, and then COVID hit, and that's what I was doing, right? I was just doing that. And for almost a year and a half, they were not used to me doing anything except taking care of this baby. And I had just given up everything because things were tough and the helps were not there, and everything just fell in the online class. But then he said to me that I said, what happened to your Google mom? Like you were trying to Google one day and said your mom is in Google, and she's like, oh, I forgot. And that also like got something onto me that, you know. So today I asked him, what do you think your mom is doing? And she's like, oh, she's saving moms. I'm like, I'm not saving moms. But he's
That's what
listening.
my boys would say.
Oh,
She saves people. She
yes,
saves people.
yes,
What? I'm happy. I'll take that.
yes, yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm like, I was like, so just the other day, the word Renu came in his problems in the school on his Google test. Like there was a test going on, and there was one problem which started with the word Renu, and then he's like, "Hey, that's like one of your mom's name, right?" I'm like, "Wow, you started to like." I'm not telling you all this, but you started to even remember the names of the moms I'm coming in the book. And one fine day, when that courier comes to my door, and I open it, and I actually show him that this is what your mom has done in the last 100 days or last 150 days. I want him to know and remember that moment that yes, your mom was just not doing that. You know, she had her superpower. She stepped into it, and she not only did it, but she wanted to share it with many moms across. So that it's just I forgot who you were. Like at 3 you knew, but at 7 you forgot because I forgot, and that's what I passed. You forgot because that's what you saw. So it's a beautiful thing what you just said, and yeah, my son says the same thing, that my mom is saving moms, and I'm like, I'm not saving moms, I'm just letting them express themselves. But for me, the aha moment was that in his exam, like he saw the word Renu, and then he said, oh, that's one of your mothers, right? And he had a smile on his face, remembering that I interviewed one of the moms with that
But
name.
don't underestimate the power of what you're doing, especially for me, because I want to give you an example. Last night, I had an email from a lovely client who she has access to all my video, my program, so she can watch that in the middle of the night, wherever she is in the world.
Yeah.
And she had a family member who had fallen, so she went round to see to them, and she explained that, you know, the drinking has just really escalated over a short period of time, and she believes if it wasn't for the program that she's got, that she can rely on, when it doesn't matter what time of day it is, she doesn't have to book a call and come and speak to me, she can just get into the program. And so she saw that in herself, you know, that if it wasn't for this, she's got somewhere to go now on the moment. She doesn't have to turn up anywhere, she can just access that with someone who she feels is on the same wavelength, who understands and who's been there. And the power of that's huge. So you're getting my message out to many, many, many women. So you are saving lives. I'm here to tell you that you are saving lives.
Thank you. That really touches my heart that you said that. And again, you're giving me a lot of perspective about how I'm thinking and adding to it. And yes, and yeah, and one day somebody gets the book and they have the problem that you can solve, and they reach out to you. Yes, a life will be saved.
Or it's the 20 people who, the person who gets the book, it's the 20 people that they know, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
You know, it isn't just a message for that. It's just the ripple effect. Is we'll never know, but that's what we're happy to do. We'll just put it out there, and the right people will see it at the right time.
will happen. This book
Put
will.
it out there.
I'm so sure of that. I don't know. I'm so sure. And each one of you coming in this book, I like. I'm I'm in this constant, like I can't even express what my heart feels. I'm in this constant, this wave into my heart these days when I'm walking, because I can't even call it I'm nervous. I can't even call it I'm.
Like
Uh,
energy.
it's just something that's happening to me, and the more closer it's getting, I actually I'm waking up in the middle of the night, and I'm just like yesterday I had to tell myself, because I was saying I was so excited we're reaching 50 that I couldn't go off to sleep, and I really needed to sleep. My eyes were all swollen and my mind was not shutting, and I told myself, do not touch the phone. Like just don't touch the phone, because you know the time difference, somebody is talking because of the time difference to me, sending me a message all the time. In the morning time it's India, and the evening time it's US, and then
I know
Australia.
what you mean.
And they all are sweet saying that don't read it now, and I keep saying them that don't read my messages, but this is time zone difference. And I'd say that to Frances if she's here, but I was like I said, just to control myself to read what's happening, which mom came in, what the message reply was. And I kept on telling myself, do not touch the phone. And I was still sitting, it was 3:30 in the night. And I was like, forget it. I'm touching it, I'm picking it up, and I will only be satisfied if I know. And then I replied to some people and I got messages, and I felt I was literally flying, like trying to do this. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? I've not slept, and I'm here feeling this, as if I'm flying, and I'm like replying to people and finding mothers at 3:34 in the night on the other side who send me a message, and I'm replying to them, and I'm listening to their stories through messages, and then I just don't know what's happening, and like this conversation is really bringing me to think a lot, Claire, about the fact that
Just following your golden thread. Just
yes,
keep
it
going.
is the golden thread. That itself, you've given me a lot of great things to think about. It must be called a golden thread. It is the golden thread to reach here. And the fact that you were talking about empty nesters, I'm talking about the elephant baby thing, which is very real, because time has come to start thinking that you're not tied anymore. Your baby has grown. You can walk, you can do, and don't be apologetic about it. Just keep going and keep trusting that they are growing as well, and they're growing well, and everything will be in place, and everybody can take care of
You
it.
just shift, don't you? Your time and energy taken doing that part of being a mum turns into something else. It's now teaching them something else, and then it'll be
He can
something
walk
else.
holding, yeah, he can walk holding my finger now, my younger one. And
Oh,
today I was in the golf course, I was walking, and he was looking and he was walking. I'm like, yeah, like, and then when you said this, and I'm like, I had some feeling that I have a little like older child walking with me, not a baby anymore. So I was like,
it's a celebration. It's a celebration. It's really how you're looking at it, isn't it?
and we forget as moms to do that, and we forget. And I must celebrate today that I feel he's turning, like, of course there'll be a celebration, but as a mom, I'm growing too for the second time with him. So thanks for that, Claire. Thanks for that. When my front light goes off, because my front light is only 45 minutes of battery, that's also a message that girls,
But
I mean, you're going way beyond. Somebody has to see a replay, and they will just keep wondering why these women are going on and on for 1.5 hours. So let's manifest your dream, Claire. What's your dream? Because this book is called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams of Mothers Who Dared to Express.
oh, right, my dream. My dream is for women to recognize that they're on a process.
Right.
So we'd start off stuck, and it could be alcohol, it could be anything. Stuck. And then we start observing other people who have moved on from being stuck.
Right.
Then we become bold and we take action. Then we start engaging in the thing. And then we become rebalanced. And at any time you might slip back, but you never go right back to here. You can just pick yourself and keep going forward like this.
Right.
And these are my avatars. And I think it's interesting because I was thinking before we came on about the photography angle that we've captured like how they're feeling at each stage. She's sure of herself, but not too much. It's a bit false.
Yeah.
Then she's just taking it all in and she's ready, isn't she? And then she's going about her life and then she's rebalanced. So the lady who helped me with this was really clever in capturing exactly the stages that I went through. And at each stage of the process, this is the chapters of my book, the modules of my program. And at each stage, I have a little tool or technique that'll help you to move you along.
Is it on Mastermind? This program on Mastermind? Yes, I will look at it.
So my dream is that I get that message out to the women who need to hear it about wanting to create lasting change in their life, because so many women are scared, they're frightened to try, they're frightened to jump because they think they're going to fail or they're frightened of failure. And my message is to say, look, you're not supposed to know what you need to do until that's the whole point. That's the whole thing. You're going to learn what to do. It just make that decision, because like we're being told, Maya said to me, and it really stuck, that successful people make decisions. Make a decision, you can make another decision further down the line, but make a decision.
Right. Absolutely true. I mean, this is very true, and I love your model, like sober. And what I like about the thought process, that you can't go beyond, like you can't go beyond the stuck, right? You can't even if you go back, you will be only stuck, right? And you can go forward, right? And I like that. I love that, and I'm really, really, really wishing that through this book you reach out with this thing to many, many people who really need to hear this. And I don't know, somehow I feel that these 100 women are going to become a very close knit community, and for the next year, a lot of things are going to open up for each of them. And my dream is to make their dream true. So something will come up next once these 100 interviews are done. So I can see it. I can
Exciting.
see it. You like I almost wanted to take a screenshot right now, and somebody please take a screenshot because this is a beautiful some moment is there. She's a 49th mom, and okay, I need to take the screenshot now. All right, it's happening. I think okay. Yeah, it's happening, and it'll come to you if I am good at it. Okay, 1 second. Oh, why? I still don't know how to have a shortcut of yeah. Yes, and we got okay. I have to put my hair okay, and we got a screenshot. I don't know why I want you to take a screenshot of this because something is going to happen. I don't know what's about to unfold. Something is about to unfold for this screenshot. I just like my gut is saying it, so I don't know what. We'll see.
I'll
We'll
take
see.
that.
Yeah.
Let's take that. Thank you.
Yes. So let's move further to our 50th mom tomorrow. Thank you so much, Claire, for being here. And I will hand you over to our pillars who will guide you with the workbooks and the videos that I've made of what the vision is. I'm always available that you can reach out to me if you're stuck, if you want to brainstorm. I love brainstorming. I keep telling it to everybody. Don't think I'm busy for this. This is the work. Like that's the work. The book is the work. I'm not busy for that. Just reach out and I will brainstorm with all of you and figure it out to just because I can see it and I know very soon all of you can as well, but I can help you to reach there faster. That's it. So thank you, Claire. Thank you so much and good night. Soon I'm going to go off live stream. Melanie, Dr. Rosetta, Terry, thank you so much for being there. Lots are going to come later to see it.
Thank you. Thank you.